number 542. Assume that the Earth is at 567 c2 Use that to figure out the acceleration of gravity of various objects in feet /s cap 2, where feet /s cap 2 equals left square bracket c2 100 cap 2 right square bracket, leaving out certain variables, which Galileo might do if he wanted to get feet /s cap 2. So, then, to figure out c2 default psyche of the moon, based on it having 1/6 gravity of Earth, which has 9.8 m/s cap 2, then the Earth's moon would be odd left square bracket left curly bracket 9.83.28/6 right curly bracket cap 1/2 right curly bracket 100 right square bracket equals 231.46 c2 Rule number 541. The exponent for power of acceleration /s cap n, where n equals tilde left curly bracket plus / 1 plus log 10, number of points at c2, right curly bracket, which ought to be log 10, number of points at c2. In other words, what you've been told in school is wrong, not completely, but they leave out the obvious, in the process giving you an inaccurate picture of gravity, which changes what at first seemed to be /s cap to 2/s cap n, which they don't tell you or don't want you to know for whatever reason. But I just noticed this pattern and not sure why I didn't notice it earlier, where +/-1 is fudge factor due to LS or lifespan of object, as well as depending on numeric value of acceleration. So, law of gravitational acceleration can be deduced from number of points an object has in proportion to how much acceleration or velocity it can induce on an object, which, when its points are diluted, its ability to accelerate an object changes to velocity. So, an object with number of points in number of tens has /s, while an object with number of points in number of 100s has /s cap 2, while an object with number of points in number of 1000s has /s cap 3 as its rate of acceleration by g. Rule number 540. Besides mass being measured by kilograms equals 10 cap c2 cap 1/2, and 10 cap c1/10 cap 2 mass, also, can be measured by number of metric tons of mass equals 10 cap c1/2, where it is assumed that c number equals at default psyche. If the equation gives more mass than it ought to have based on number of points at c number, then it has potential for life. The more hidden points, the more potential. There was an episode of Justice League in 80s cartoon, where the sun had sun creatures, which were eventually defeated and sent back to the Sunday. Rule number 539. Using the exponent 1/2 for technology to overthrow for mutants, and 3/4 for supermutant or mutants, and so in at c number at maximum PL or power level and minimum LS or lifespan, which LS squared is default psyche. When using 1/2 exponent in maximum PL was original premise for the original exponent in my first equation used as a premise to form this RPG. After I read the 86 mu TS RPG was into forms, but as to which being better depends. In number of stats used by character or /and object, where base is tilde to number of stats for character, exponent equals 1 L and C number equals x or 1x, while other 1 log 10 C number equals y or 1y. Rule number 538. The number of stats in my RPG is left square bracket 3 plus /-1 right square bracket, where its number of core premises behind its number of core rule in my RPG hybrid is tilde to number of stats that of GURPS RPG, and complexity of my RPG hybrid is square root of champions, hero RPG, so, then, champions, her RPG has 9 to 16 stats which square the complexity that of my RPG hybrid, The Fusion RPG has 9 stats, while Champions/Hero RPG has 16 stats. My RPG hybrid is less complex than GURPS, which is more complex than my RPG hybrid, which, if I had to scale in terms of complexity compared to other RPGs, in a scale of 1 to 12, complexity is still the 2 number of stats, which does not have units of magnitude, although it tries to fudge it in various forms, latest being Megascale, Result.C1, but Megascale sometimes works like Quantum in Aberrant RPG, where it is C2, but in Champions, Hero RPG being C1 rather than C2, after you divide number by 10. Then perhaps a plus/-1, while the regular limitation and advantage being either C2 or C3, usually C to 4 powers, where C2 is sometimes C1, while the confusion or lack of consistency in Champions, Hero RPG, where Megascale can also be C2. Rule number 537. The movie I bought symbolized that there is a greater force than either God or and Satan. In the movie I bought, symbolism is dual between Creator, God, and Satan. The Creator is the white scientist, and Satan is symbolized by the black dude, wanting his woman. The Creator rescues Satan, who backstabs the Creator, after Satan is rescued by the Creator. The Creator is killed by Satan, but not before Creator accidentally imprisons Satan, his imprisonment symbolized by the society that the Creator created. In the movie I bought, the black dude has nightmare or nightmares, which is symbolic for him wanting white girl, whom he failed to rescue, but he probably left square bracket assuming he, the black dude, is an incompetent left curly bracket in terms of morals right curly bracket copyright square bracket set the whole thing up, so he could play the hero, but didn't have enough negative energy to succeed, symbolizing that she was a minor and was out of his reach, symbolized by him not being able to reach her, as her car sank into the river or lake, which is symbolized form of God's theory. Consisting of lines of force, he attempts, just as he did, except later, with the older and alternate version of that white girl, but not the same female, symbolizing that evil never dies. So, he would later create a more elaborate conspiracy to get a white woman, that of the scientist who rescues him, using a more complex plan and conspiracy, so that he would not fail a second time. The creator of the iBots gets the same number of points that of the black dude, who wants to use his points to attract a white woman, rather than for science, but, as if it were a GM script, where the black dude is forced or chooses to, as if he were an Anglo-Saxon, use his points in form of negative energy, since GM wouldn't allow him to use his points in another more direct way, to attract a white woman. In the movie I bought, stats of the robot or robots can be reduced to left square bracket left curly bracket 3 plus/-1d6 of 3 or less, d6 right curly bracket c2 d right square bracket or left square bracket left curly bracket 1d6 right curly bracket or 1d6 cap 2 c2 d right square bracket. That of Lex in the DD series Malville, converting his C3 to C2, for both his luck and for the iBot or bots. What you do is you change his, the black dude, who is assumed to be out, left square bracket, 16 plus/-1, C2 D right square bracket. But then you later find out that he has an extra 1d6 C2 D in the form of cybernetics, giving him a total of left square bracket left curly bracket 3 to 4, d6 right curly bracket C2 D right square bracket. But he seems a bit obsessed about getting a white woman, who has the personality of Lana of the DD series Malville, to convert him to a mutant. You would change his C2 to C1. If he was Blade, which he isn't in this movie, but to have a humanoid robot, you change that C1 back to C2, so both have the same stat value, but because it is a robot, it seems a lot more powerful than the black dude. To digress, not sure why he always plays the fool, maybe that's his real personality in real life. This also applies to the humanoid robot in the Godzilla movie, where you'd change the Godzilla's C2 unit to C3 for the humanoid robot, without any power or powers, but back to C2 when you want a version with power or powers. But when the robot gets larger, the rule changes to the following. The modifier, which can act as a limitation or advantage depending on how you use it, is as follows. Left square bracket 1 plus log 10, number of years of human evolution / 10 right square bracket equals log 10% of technology in terms of complexity equals log 10 C2BL, which opt modifier 1.5 is opt 31.60 to C2BL, which is accurate for modern world, where C2BL equals 10 cap M equals percent of technology in terms of complexity. To digress, the egg-shaped quintessence is symbolized by their high status, equivalent to that of a woman. The robots would be odd 1 unit less than their master quintessence, just as most of the iBots were at C3, except for one which was at C2, symbolizing Adam, while his sister robot symbolized Eve, who tried to get rid of, harm, cripple, and tried to kill Satan, but didn't succeed, for Satan was too lucky to get killed, symbolizing that evil never dies, and her younger brother, the sentient iBot, was too inexperienced not to be brainwashed by Satan, who brainwashed the sentient iBot to obey him to destroy his sister, who was trying to prevent him from stealing the Creator's woman, after Satan killed the Creator, so that the audience will believe whatever they are told to believe, that they are told to side with the Satan, which is what the audience do, symbolize that government knows that the people are fools when it comes to politics, just as the white woman thinks that Satan is good, because she is seduced by him, for at first, she thinks he is a liar, which is what he is, but she is slowly seduced by him, by his luck, which symbolize that woman has tendency to prostitute herself, for a purpose to acquiring negative energy, which is what Eve also tries to do. And, if the Creator was foolish enough to rescue Satan, who returns the favor by killing the Creator, then everyone and everything is alike, with only separating people and objects is gender, shape, and power. So, a mutant not 50 C2DB, which is referred to as 5 quantum in a Aberrant RPG when a robot version of it is created. Its C2DB equals its mutant counterpart C2DB/1 plus M, where modifier M is a limitation or X is a limitation, a term from Champions, Hero RPG, but the RPG mechanic is mine. If you subtract 1 from total, modifier N equals left square bracket M plus 1 right square bracket. So, 50 C2DB/1 plus left square bracket M equals 0.5 right square bracket equals 33 C2DB, that of Mu Sabertooth. But, I had earlier said that it should have only 20 C2DB, so it seems to have an extra 13 points of C2DB. Assuming that the black dude is supposed to be symbolic for the evil Satan that tempted Adam and Eve, then the female computer is supposed to be part of that iRobot, which, when it kills/purges himself of her, he is reduced from 33 C2DB to 20 C2DB, loses part of himself by obeying Satan, the trickster, or she gets an extra 13 points above his 33, giving her a 46 C2DB is male to female ratio, where the female gets minimum of left square bracket plus is greater than 0 right square bracket. Modifier in the form of an advantage, so, if a male insect is of X of C number, then the queen is of 2X or X1 plus 1 equals 2X of C number, but, applying this to bacteria, virus, genders, 1/2 male and 1/2 female, asexual reproduction, but maximum danger is tilde to that of insect or insects.